Hey guys, this is Varashti from Explain.coza. So recently, the South African Reserve Bank cut the interest rate. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, so what? Doesn't that happen all the time? Well, yes it does, but this particular cut was kind of significant because it brought our interest rate down to the lowest level it's been since 1973. And it happened outside of the bank's usual schedule for doing these kind of things. And you guessed it, it was all thanks to the havoc the COVID-19 pandemic is wreaking on our economy. Now, if you're wondering why you should care about the Reserve Bank or interest rates at the best of times, never mind now, here's why. At Explain, we think the more we as ordinary people understand the economy that we live in, the more empowered we will be, especially in times like this. So we're doing a series that does just that. To kick us off, here's Archie from Explain on what the heck those guys in fancy ties at the Reserve Bank actually do and what it means for you in a post-pandemic economy.
The South African Reserve Bank, or the SARB for short, is the country's central bank. Every country has one, and its main responsibility is to protect how much our money is worth. There are two ways it does this: A, by adjusting the interest rate, and B, through inflation targeting. Let's paint a picture to explain this. Imagine you have a country. Let's call it Azania. Azania has 1,000 Azanian rands going through the economy, through people buying and selling stuff. The Azanian Central Bank, like every other bank, is responsible for printing and issuing banknotes and coins to the nation. During the month of May, it accidentally printed 1,000 more banknotes than it should have, and somehow this money made its way into the hands of the people. People celebrated because they had more money. Retailers celebrated too because this meant they could increase the prices of goods they sold. This is inflation. But instead of becoming richer, everything just cost twice as much. Think of Zimbabwe, where the price of bread costs like 15 Zimbabwean dollars. That's a lot for bread. So even if you have more money, it's worth less. So the Azanian Central Bank sees this massive flow of money in the economy and says it's a problem. Remember, its mandate is to protect the value of the currency. So what does it do? Firstly, it looks at the country and the current level of inflation. It tries to predict the future costs of various things and then sets a target that it thinks would be ideal to manage the country's finances. Once it sets a target, it works on a policy to achieve it. That's called inflation targeting. The second thing it does is adjust the interest rate. If there's too much money going around the economy, the bank will try to increase the value of money. To do this, it will increase interest rates. When the interest rate goes up, you'll pay more on your repayments for your home loan, student loan, or bank loan. When interest rates go down, your repayments, and you will have more to spend if the central bank thinks it's okay to do so and they have more money in the system. Both these methods fall under the term monetary policy. I'm sure you've heard it before, and now you know what it means. This is exactly how South Africa's Reserve Bank performs its main functions. It has other responsibilities too, but we'll save that for another time. The Reserve Bank, as it stands now, is not owned by the government. It is what they call an independent institution. Its decisions are made by the people in the institution. They are called the Monetary Policy Committee. There are 4 members in this committee and they are overseen by the governor. His name is Lesesha Kganyago. I'm sure you've seen him before, sporting his colorful ties. Now you know what he does.
So that's our little explainer about the Reserve Bank's role during COVID-19. Now, as Archie pointed out, every country has a central bank. Ours has a reputation for being pretty cautious with how it does things. You may have heard arguments in the past that the Reserve Bank should just cut the interest rates even more and even stop printing more money to jumpstart our economy. Now, you might have wondered, what does that mean, print more money? It's true, central banks can just create more money out of thin air. Pretty weird, right? Let's say they've cut the interest rate so low that it's at zero and the economy is about to go into major decline. They need to do something. The central bank can literally just print some money, or more probably make it appear electronically by typing it onto a screen, then taking that money they've just created and injecting it into the economy to get things going again. But as you can imagine, this is a very dangerous tool if it's done wrong. Now, Stable democracies can get it right. The United States got away with doing this after the 2008 financial crash because they have a very low inflation rate and a stable currency, among other reasons. But if economies that don't have that going, like ours, just start printing money, it would probably lead to hyperinflation, which is exactly what went wrong in Zimbabwe. Now, you don't want the money in your bank to suddenly become meaningless, because let's be honest, we all need to be buying chicken licken when this is all over. So, this is why the Reserve Bank quite rightly stood against populist calls in the past to simply create more money and just inject it into the economy. One such populist call came from the ANC Secretary General himself, Ace Magashule, who is part of the faction in the ruling ANC who's trying to force Ramaphosa out. Now, Magashule made a laughingstock of himself last year when he called for, wait for it, quantity easing. He was referring to a very technical term called quantitative easing, which is a term that's used to basically describe what I just explained to you, how a country's central bank can just make more money. Now, Magashule also suggested using this invented money for paying off government debt, which is really not how it usually works. His unwise comments panicked investors and prompted a backlash from the guys who are actually in charge of our economy and understand how it works. The finance minister and the Reserve Bank governor both told Magashule in their own way to stay in his lane. Thank goodness. But while South Africa's Reserve Bank tends to err on the side of caution, the bank does step in to help the economy when it's really needed, and we've seen them do that right now in this crazy time. With this recent historic announcement, they've brought the interest rate to the lowest it's been since 1973, as I said. That's because things are looking so dire in the economy right now with the pandemic. Now remember, the Reserve Bank will increase interest rates to protect the value of the money in your wallet, as Archie explained earlier. But one of the reasons it cuts the interest rate as it just did is when it believes the economy is in bad shape and it needs to help people with their repayments. Now, the cut lowers our monthly payments on our debt and gives us as consumers and borrowers a bit more relief and a bit more money in our pockets. So, if you're one of those people with high debt, say on your credit card or your home loan, you've got a little bit of breathing room for now. If you're a struggling small business owner, the interest rate cut means that it's cheaper for you to borrow money or to take out a loan to save your business during these trying times. As always, the full explainer is in the article below this video. What are your thoughts on this? Post them below and remember to hit subscribe. Thanks for watching. Keep engaging, keep explaining. Till next time, goodbye from us.